Hey guys, this is my follow-up video to my surgery. I had the gastrectomy sleeve bariatric surgery. I had that surgery on May 12th in 2014 at 290 pounds. The day of the surgery I was actually at 260 because I had been on a liquid diet for a couple weeks. Today's March 5th and I'm at 188 pounds. So it's about 70 pounds since the surgery, and it's about 90 pounds from my peak weight, which was the heaviest I've ever been. The heaviest I've been is at 290 and I'm at 188 now. So it's been a little over 10 months. So I'm going to talk about some of the stuff that's happened since the surgery and some things that I've learned as a result since the first video. So for me, the weight loss was really fast for the first 4 months. I got down from 260 down to 188, 190, somewhere in there, in about 4 months. And then the last 6 months have been kind of steady. So, I mean, for me, the weight loss all happened in the first 4 months. And, I've had a bunch of different philosophies on diet. At first I was really focused on low sugar or no sugar, and then more now I'm actually less focused on no sugar. I'm more focused on natural sugar, and the reason why is because a lot of the low sugar items that are sold in stores have sugar substitutes in it, and both my wife and I have decided that it's better to have a low amount of natural sugar than have zero sugar listed on the label, but have it all be the sugar substitutes. I want to talk about the amount of food I can eat. At first I was only able to eat 3 or 4 ounces of food a sitting, and I went and got a scale and everything for that, and I started to get concerned after about 2 or 3 months because I was able to eat 6 or 7 ounces, sometimes even a little more. And in the big picture, it's way less than I ate before. Meals before I could eat easily a pound, if not more, 16 ounces or more. And so going from 4 ounces to 6 or 7 ounces is still small, but it concerned me. And I talked to the doctors and dietitians about it, and the general gist is that to stick to the solids first, and then solid proteins, and then go to green leafy vegetables, that kind of stuff, and then finish with carbs, and then the solid proteins will be thick and kind of more substantial, so it's not mushy, it's more of hard foods, and that'll make me feel full faster. The times I can eat 7 or 8 ounces is when I'm eating soft stuff, and that's generally carby foods like pastas or breads or stuff like that. So if I stick to the diet that they tell me, my stomach actually, I begin to feel full at the 6 ounces or so. It's when I eat softer foods that I can eat more, and my concern was I was going to start stretching my stomach again, which I don't think anymore is happening. I have down here to talk about weighing foods. My wife's been pretty good about this. She does weigh the food, and I think that's important for me, weighing foods to keep track of whether I'm eating more, whether my stomach's starting to get bigger again. I don't want to gain the weight back. And protein powders, I did buy a bunch of protein powders because I was really focused on proteins after my surgery. There was a rule of 80 or 90 grams of protein and 40 grams of carbs, and I got while my stomach was really tiny, it was a struggle to get enough protein into my system, and so I bought protein powder. But the thing is I haven't used it that much, because I think once you get past that point of being able to eat enough, to get enough protein in your system, there's not a lot of foods I'm going to want to put this unflavored protein powder into it. But I did buy a bunch of unflavored, I think it's Unjury protein powder, but me personally, I haven't really done that. That reminds me of the carb counting versus protein counting. At first, it was all about protein counting. When my stomach's really small, I had to make decisions on whether I wanted to eat food that had enough protein. The decisions on what type of food I ate really had to do with making sure I was getting enough protein during the day. I've transitioned now to just kind of paying more attention to carbs and trying to keep my carbs below a certain amount, like 80 grams or so or lower. Once my dietitian told me once I reached my ideal weight that I could focus on, I could up my carb intake from 40 grams to about 80 grams. So I just try to make sure my carbs are low, and I'm assuming I'm getting enough, protein. Ice cream's really dangerous. I've fallen back into eating ice cream because it doesn't really, your stomach size doesn't affect the amount of, ice cream you can eat. And it can cause you to, get that dumping syndrome. I haven't really had dumping syndrome too much. It's only a few times I've actually felt sick since I've had the surgery. It's generally related to drinking liquids too soon or after, too soon before or after a meal. But there is a couple times where I've had too much sugar, and I think it has to do with stuff like ice cream. So ice cream is a dangerous one. It also comes in, that craving comes in generally at that fourth meal stage, which, right after my surgery, I didn't really have a craving to have a before bed snack. I was eating dinner much later, and I had done away with that. Now that's starting to creep back in a little bit, this idea that I want to have a meal later on, and I'm trying to get good about eating the right snacks for that. Supplements. At first I did the stuff that they suggested, which is, I got Bariatric Advantage supplements, and there's these really high dollar expensive supplements. I switched to a daily Nature's Way Alive. It's a it's a multivitamin that was suggested for my dietitian, and I only have to take them once a day, which is good. So I like with supplements to take the majority of what I need first thing in the morning, and just have a couple calciums later on. I made a mistake at first I was buying Bariatric Advantage calcium, chewables for my calcium intake, because that's really the two things I need is the multivitamin and then the calcium a couple times a day. I switched to the Costco brand, and it turns out that was calcium carbonate instead of calcium citrate. So I had to switch back to the Bariatric Advantage. Just keep that in mind if you want to switch to a generic, that you get the right type of calcium. I was taking 3 a day at first. Now I'm down to 2. 2 chewables a day. Carry them with me to work. Some point during the day, if I feel like having, a snack or something sweet, I'll grab that chewable and eat that. So my vitamin D levels were a little low after, my first blood test came back. They have you do a blood test about, 6 months out from your surgery, or 6 months after your surgery, and mine came back saying I was a little low in vitamin D. So now I'm taking vitamin D every day, a little, gel cap, or it's not a gel cap, it's just like a liquid pill. So I take that first thing in the morning with my Nature's Way Alive, and so I have those 2 in the morning. And then there's one I take on Saturday, which is the sublingual, I forget which one that is. It's the one you only have to take once a week. So on to the results. I was amazed with the results. I lost a ton of weight right away, and it's pretty shocking, how fast the weight comes off. But one of the things that I noticed is that my body got smaller and smaller and smaller because of the fat inside my body. But the skin around my stomach, there's this flab of skin around my stomach that didn't go away. And that's right here. You can see. You can do it before and after. Maybe if you were looking at the video before, this is me afterwards. But this skin right here, it feels like fat, but it's being told that that's not fat. It's actually just skin. And the only way to get rid of that is really to do surgery. But they did talk about exercise can cause that skin to suck back in if you start to work out. Focus on your core when you first. After you recover from your surgery. So, like a month and a half, 2 months after the surgery, you might be able to start going to the gym and just kind of crunches and stuff. I did for a little bit, and then I backed off of going to the gym as much because, it's kind of tough because you're seeing all this progress from just the surgery, and it's like, you feel like, man, I've lost the weight I need to lose. What do I need to go to the gym for? But, the skin, bouncing back is one of the things that'll help with. Also, when you start to go to the gym, like when I started going to the gym, that's when you can start to increase your carb intake too. And carbs are, they're addictive and they're fun to eat, right? But they're dangerous. And so, it's kind of nice when the mornings you go to the gym, you can eat like a bowl of like steel cut oats or something, or some sort of carbs. So so I want to talk a little bit about social issues. It is weird. People have weird conversations. They ask you things like, did you get cancer? Are you sick? I mean, that's kind of weird. People don't even know what to say. So I first I was kind of like keeping it secret because I had this weird shame about like going in for surgery versus like just kind of doing it on my own, going to the gym and just losing all the weight on my own. But eventually I started being honest with people because, I think it can help other people out. There's people in the same situation as me that definitely, could benefit from having this surgery, and they're going to live longer and have a better life. So I am honest with people. I tell them about it, not all the time. Sometimes I just say, hey, I had a weight loss, I went on a weight loss plan, or, I'm kind of careful about saying procedure, or weight loss surgery. Sometimes I just say, hey, I went on a real structured weight loss program. So, but other people, I tell them exactly what happened, and I've had people, that are now interested in, getting themselves better because of this. Coffee. At first, I didn't have coffee. I used to be an avid coffee and Red Bull drinker in Rockstar. I cut out the coffee, Red Bull, and Rockstar before the surgery, and after the surgery, I didn't do any for a period of time, maybe a month or two. Then I introduced coffee back in, and I have been drinking a lot of coffee, and it does cause issues with acid reflux, right? I mean, and then people tend to put sugar in their coffee, which is another problem. But I got a type of press, a type of coffee maker that keeps the acidity level down, so I'm getting less acid reflux as a result of the way I'm preparing the coffee. I use an AeroPress, but still, it's, if you've done the surgery and you're not drinking coffee, don't start drinking it again, because it is a bad habit to pick back up. There's this weird thing that happens with sneezing. I sneeze when I eat too much. I think it's my body warning me that I've ate too much, and I like that better than puking, which is what a lot of people say happens. I hardly ever puke. I only puke if I drink fluids on top of a full stomach, but maybe 3 or 4 times it's happened. But sneezing happens quite often, and that's related to the speed at which I eat. Like, I really need to pay attention to eating slower, because I'll find myself sneezing on the meals that I've ate too fast, right? Snoring is completely gone. I used to be a big snorer. My wife says she can hardly hear me now. Sorry about that, the video stopped. Okay, so I just want to wrap up by saying, that I'm really glad I got the surgery, and I appreciate you guys watching this video, and I'll try to do another video 6 months or a year from now and do a couple to see how things progress. But I mean, if you're considering doing the surgery and you're in the situation that I was in, I urge you to do it. It was one of the best decisions I've ever made, short of marrying my beautiful wife and having children. But anyway, thanks a lot, and talk to you later.